Guten Erev Shabbos, Rabbi Isai. Shkoyach for listening. Another Erev Shabbos message. So this week's, first of all, I just want to say that I have heard from a lot of people how amazing Pesach was. Pesach was surprisingly, because people were not expecting it to be good. I'm just going to be with my wife at the table. It's going to be horrible. No, it actually worked out to be very nice. Baruch Hashem. Many people came back with very surprised, happily surprised that they had an amazing Pesach. It was very eye-opening. It was very enlightening. People think that Pesach is supposed to be a vacation, so they were nervous about, Pesach is not a vacation. Pesach is a time when we instill in ourselves the emunah and bitachon. It's a time for work, a work on our spiritual selves. And people forced into that situation actually came and did an amazing job at it. They stayed over the Haggadah. They had a beautiful time. I heard from one couple that they were there till 3 a.m. singing. It was just them, just a couple. And they were there till 3 a.m. singing and saying over all the parts in the bottom. They had an amazing Pesach. It was such a deep and beautiful bonding time together. And that's great. I heard that from more than one person, although one person said they were up to 3. It's an amazing thing. Which is later, and also mentioning that they never had such a good Seder before. Every other time they booked early, like, okay, whatever, let the family sing, and they went to sleep early. Now's the time that it was up to them, and they stelled too. So an amazing time. People are also telling me how davening is being phenomenal. How their davening is better than ever because they are just them and Hashem. They're not nobody's disturbing them. Nobody's talking to them during davening. They have a set time when they go ahead and they daven. It's an amazing. So there's a lot of good that is coming out of this situation, and it's kedai for people to know that. Some people, you're able to go ahead and really connect to Hashem in ways that they haven't connected before. Many people have been saying literally that they have taken upon themselves this 10-minute thing that we suggested at the beginning, to daven Shemini Esrei for 10 minutes. That's amazing because, again, you finish your Shemini Esrei after 2 minutes, and then you're stuck there for the next 8 minutes. So after a while, you're like, okay, Hashem, I got to say something, and you start thinking, and finally you pull up something that you talk about, and then you connect to Hashem, and eventually it becomes a real connection, like, oh yeah, I do need something. Hashem, can you make this happen? Can you make that happen? And etc. And eventually you start talking to Hashem and you build a connection. This is a beautiful way to do it. And I've heard from many people that it's working for them. So keep steiging, do an amazing job. And it's a pleasure to hear all the success stories that is happening in Klal Yisrael during this time, when our davening is improving and our learning is improving, and it's phenomenal. Baruch Hashem. I will mention one thing. It says in this week's Parsha, in Parshas Shemini, right at the beginning of the Parsha, Moshe Rabbeinu tells Klal Yisrael and Aaron HaKohen to bring certain karbonis. And that's the first couple psukim of the Parsha. He tells them, can you bring certain karbonis? And he says, and if you do this, then Hashem will appear to you in the Mishkan, because it was the opening day for the Mishkan. So the question is, what do you mean if you do this? I mean, the simple reading of the psukim are saying that if you bring all these karbanos that I just told you, then Hashem will appear to you. But the Sifri asks, we were talking about the karbanos, so what do you mean if you do this, then Hashem will appear? Just say, and Hashem will appear to you. Here's all the karbanos, and if you do this, Hashem will appear to you. Here's all the karbanos, so that Hashem will appear to you. What's and if you do this? So the Sifri says, you know what it means? It means if you break your Yetzer Hara, then after all the karbanos and breaking the Yetzer Hara, then Hashem will appear to you. He adds on a new Tanai to having Hashem appear to you. And the question is, what exactly is the Sifri adding on? That's what we were referring. The Sifri didn't help anything, break your Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara for what? Who's there? What exactly was the Sifri's addition to the pasuk? And the Sifri adds that he's breaking these up, but he was so vague about it. The Sifri being so vague about it didn't really help us much. Breaking it, what exactly was he referring to? And there are many pshatim over here. Some say, well, you just finished the Mishkan, so you're probably Balei Gaiva a little bit. You created a whole Mishkan, so break the Yetzer Hara of Gaiva. Or you're you just finished the Mishkan and now you feel that you want to go ahead and everybody should serve in their own Mahalach, so you want to go ahead and serve in your own Mahalach. So there are varying different Mahalchim to explain exactly what is going what exactly the Sifri meant. One of the famous Mahalchim is that the Sifri means that if you go ahead and the Sifri was vague on purpose. The Sifri was Vegomer is because the Sifri was not referring to a specific Yetzer Hara, or Moshe was telling Aaron, hey, break your Yetzer Hara. The Sifri was referring to a situation and that Moshe was telling Aaron, break your Yetzer Hara, whatever it is. And similarly throughout the Dairis, whatever your Yetzer Hara is, because every Dar has their own Yetzer Hara. Every person has their own Yetzer Hara. What is a Yetzer Hara for one person, he's running after kavod his whole life, is not a Yetzer Hara for another person. And what's a Yetzer Hara for another person? He is Taivas Noshim or whatever, and he can't stop, and is hard for somebody else, but not impossible. So Moshe Rabbeinu was telling all the people, break your Yetzer Hara, whatever your Yetzer Hara is. And that's a message for us right now. Even if we have successfully winged and gotten through Pesach, and many people more than successfully, like we said, they have been phenomenally successful through Pesach in their growth in Yiddishkeit, in their growth in Ruchnius, in their growth in Dveikus to Hashem. All those things were successful. That's like building the Mishkan. If you want Hashem to reside, don't give in. Don't let that Yetzer Hara get you. There are many, many shiurim that a person can have online, and there are many, many learning opportunities that are there online. But if a person goes ahead and gives into his Yetzer Hara, and he starts to coast, then Hashem is not going to appear, because life is a non-stop climb. You got to start. You can't just coast. Just because you were successful over Pesach, that's amazing. A Baruch Hashem, and that will never be lost. A person goes ahead, he makes an up. That up on the graph is not like the stock market, like we've said many times. Because on a stock market, the graph goes up and then the graph goes down. If you have money in the stock market, when the graph goes down, you lost that up. You're not there anymore. We have spoken out many times in Ruchnius, it's not like that. That up will remain with you forever. However, that being said, a person must always constantly try to keep up. Yes, of course there are downs in life, but try to keep it on a graph that is heading up. Let that down be a slight lull if a chas v'shalom has to happen, and then continuously climb up. That's the message of the Sifri. Don't let the Yetzer Hara get to you. And now, in the coming weeks, we're going to have a ton of learning opportunities. A person has to know that he's got to take these learning opportunities seriously. If you have a web browser open besides for the shiur that you're watching, then it's not going to work. Nobody's able to focus. You know, there was a study done that people concentrating on, if you're concentrating on college classes or whatever, and you have music on in the background, they say that it's 40% less, you're 40% less able to go ahead and retain the knowledge and retain the information that you're trying to gather and to grasp if you have music on in the background. The reason is because your focus is slightly on the music, and that's music in the background. Forget if you have ESPN on in front of you, and of course other things. Yeah. So you have to go ahead and you have to make a Kabbalah. It's got to be a firm Kabbalah. I will not have anything else open during my learning. If it's a half an hour a day, let it be half an hour a day. If it's 20 minutes a day, let it be 20 minutes a day. If it's the Chavetz Chaim a day, let it be the Chavetz Chaim a day. But during that time, focus. Nothing else. There's got to be a time during the day when everything else is shut off. There's no phone, there's no WhatsApp, there's nothing, and you're just focused. That's got to be. You have to go ahead and make that time. Don't give in to the Yetzer Hara, because albeit we're at a major, we're having many yechidim, many people are having major growths in their avodas Hashem, and everything is being done lishma because you're not doing it because other people are watching. Nevertheless, there is still a very big room to make mistakes and to fall. And that is during the small times of learning. Sometimes we're not as focused because we have all these other things that could be going on. So it's got to be, we have to go ahead and take control of that situation. We have to go ahead and hold of that, and we have to go ahead and take control of that situation, take control of ourselves, focus on our growth during the coming weeks, and we should continue to steig together. Rabbi say, keep steigen, and we're doing amazing. Have an amazing Shabbos, and we'll be in touch after Shabbos.